Welcome along, everyone. It is the second Ultimate Quiz Night celebrating 5 years of Jay's quiz on the 26th of March. And as you already know, which is probably the reason you're here and probably a reason a lot of people aren't here. But if you already know, it is tonight is focusing on art and literature. You know, this is one of the categories that I got requested quite a lot over the last 5 years. And then when I put it in, I got a lot of grief for. But yeah, so tonight, art and literature, 50 questions. These have all been asked over the last 5 years. Put the numbers into my random generator. All the quizzes are now in my database. They're in the database, ready to be uploaded onto Quiz Hub at some point when I get around to that part of coding, that part of the website. But yeah, so I put it in, selected my art and literature category, and these are the questions that it spat out for me for this evening. So same as last night, same as always. 50 questions over. Well, yeah, I've split them into 5 rounds, although I think if memory serves me right, the last 20 are all just general knowledge, art and literature questions. But yeah, so they're all in their different, so you've got 5 rounds. So we'll do 30 questions, take a break as always, and then come back and do the answers to those in the final 20. So grab your pens, grab your paper. Let's go. If I get on the right one, which is that one there, and then turn, there we go. You may have noticed I wasn't on screen last night. It's just I'm not 100% at the minute, and I'm coughing and spluttering and all sorts in between questions, and it's not something you want to see, and I didn't want to have to keep turning the camera on and off while I was recording. So yeah, but here we go. Let's get straight into it. You don't need to see me, as long as you can see the questions. That's the most important thing. But here we go, your second ultimate quiz, and tonight we're focusing on art and literature. Who is the king or queen or the champion of art and literature in your house? Tonight you will find out. Here we go. Round one then is all about authors, and here we go. Number one, who wrote the book Gone with the Wind? Number two, Ian Fleming created which secret agent? Number three, Orson Welles caused widespread panic with a broadcast of which novel in 1938? Number four, who wrote the Pickwick Papers, Nicholas Nickleby, and the unfinished The Mystery of Edwin Drood? Number five, which famous murder mystery writer wrote the play The Mousetrap? So which famous murder mystery writer wrote the play The Mousetrap? Number six, who wrote the novel Wuthering Heights? Number seven, which author wrote Deception Point, The Lost Symbol, and Angels and Demons? Number eight, in which book would you find the character Phileas Fogg? Number nine, which comic book was published first? Was it the Beano or the Dandy? And number 10, which of these Jane Austen novels was published first? Was it Emma, Mansfield Park, or Pride and Prejudice? Sticking with the theme of authors, part two for round two. Number one, what kind of animal was Jemima, created by Beatrix Potter? It's like authors and writers, and I think there might be some poets in here as well. Or did I move poets to general knowledge? I think I moved poets to general knowledge. Anyway, number two, which country is the play Hamlet set? So yeah, authors. Oh no, there is a poet question here. Yeah, authors and writers and poets. Number three, which poet wrote the poem I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud? I take umbrage with this. I don't think clouds are lonely. You know, I've got loads of other clowns, clouds even, that they can join up with, and then they can make themselves into a super cloud. Number four, the phrase Big Brother is watching you is synonymous with which George Orwell book? Number 5, what is the name of the head mistress in Matilda? Number 6, Jack Ryan is the protagonist of which author's novels? Number 7, how old was the character Adrian Mole when he wrote his first secret diary? Number 8, Jack, Piggy, and Ralph are the 3 central characters in which book? Number 9, who wrote The Hunchback of Notre Dame? And number 10, what was Black Beauty in the Anna Sewell name of the Anna Sewell name of the same name? Anna Sewell book of the same name. As I said yesterday on yesterday's Ultimate Quiz, I am not editing any of the original mistakes out because that would be cheating. If there was a mistake last time, there is a mistake now. Whole point is looking back over the last 5 years. Round 3 with some artists then for you. Starting with this for number 1. Which ear did Vincent van Gogh cut off? I've just looked at question 2 and this is spelt wrong, I think. I don't know. I'm just going to go with it. Which artist sculpted works including Pieta and David? Is that not supposed to be Peter? I'll be honest, I did not remember this question from last time. Oh no, okay, it is spelled right. I'm right. Number 3, who painted The Last Supper? Number 4, which street artist is responsible for the following works? One Nation Under CCTV, Balloon Girl, and Dismaland. Number 5, Pablo Picasso was the co-founder, along with Georges Braque, of which art movement? Number 6, who painted Campbell's soup cans? And I've got 1962 in brackets before the answer. And was it 1962? I thought it was later than that. It was 1962. There you go. Number 7, who was the sculptor behind the Angel of the North? Number 8, who painted The Night Watch? Number 9, what links a statue at the entrance to Copenhagen Harbour and a Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale about a girl wanting to gain a human soul? And your final question for part 1, number 10. A sculpture of an individual that only features the head and shoulders is called a what? So a sculpture of an individual that only features their head and shoulders is called what? There you go. That's your first 30 of this Ultimate Quiz Art and Literature edition. Another 20 questions will come up after the break and also after your answers. So here is a 7-minute break. If you weren't with me yesterday, you'll know, you won't know, but so the website isn't available for the Ultimate Quizzes just because it would just overload with everything else going on for the anniversary. So the JVPQ questions isn't available for the breaks, but it's on a Premiere, so it's not on a live, it's on a Premiere, so you can quite easily rewind, go back, and have a look at any of those questions you missed, because there'll be a 7-minute break now. And then when I come back, then we'll go for the answers. So you've got 7 minutes to go back and see if you need any of those questions. I'll see you after this. Okay, then welcome back. Thank you very much for rejoining. I'm going to go into the answers now then for those first 30 questions. And let's see how you did and how many of them you have remembered. So round one then was authors. Round two was also authors. So these are authors, poets, etc. and writers. Here we go, number one. Who wrote the book Gone with the Wind? It was Margaret Mitchell. Number two, Ian Fleming created James Bond. James Bond. Number three, Orson Welles caused widespread panic with a broadcast of War of the Worlds. Number four, who wrote The Pickwick Papers, Nicholas Nickleby and the Unfinished The Mystery of Edwin Drood? It is Charles Dickens. Number five, which famous murder mystery writer wrote the play The Mousetrap? It was Agatha Christie. And number six, who wrote the novel Wuthering Heights? It was Emily Bronte. Number seven, which author wrote Deception Point, The Lost Symbol, and Angels and Demons? It was Dan Brown. I've just realised there might be an answer coming back in the second half. Oh, okay, never mind. Number eight, in which book would you find the character Phileas Fogg? It is Around the World in 80 Days. Might be a question that's coming up on one of the live quizzes. Number nine, which comic book was published first, The Beano or The Dandy? It was The Dandy was published first. And number 10, which of these Jane Austen novels was published first? It was Pride and Prejudice. Authors, writers, poets, etc. Part 2. Number 1, what kind of animal was Jemima created by Beatrix Potter? It is duck. Number 2, which country is the play Hamlet set? It's Denmark. Number 3, William Wordsworth wrote I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. Number 4, the phrase Big Brother is watching you is synonymous with 1984. Number 5, the headmistress in Matilda is Miss Agatha Trunchbull. Number 6, Jack Ryan is the protagonist of Tom Clancy novels. Number 7, how old was the character Adrian Mole when he wrote his first secret diary? He was 13 3/4. Number 8, Jack, Piggy and Ralph are the central characters of Lord of the Flies. Number 9, The Hunchback of Notre Dame was written by Victor Hugo. And number 10, Black Beauty was a horse. Your artists then, number 1, which ear did Vincent van Gogh cut off? It was his left ear. Number 2, which artist sculpted works including Pieta and David? It's Michelangelo. Number 3, The Last Supper was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. Number 4, which street artist is responsible for the following works? One Nation Under CCTV, Balloon Girl and Dismaland? It's Banksy. Number 5, Pablo Picasso was the co-founder along with Georges Braque of which art movement? It is Cubism. Number 6, please. There we go. Number 6, who painted Campbell's soup cans in 1962? It was Andy Warhol. Number 7, who was the sculptor behind the Angel of the North? It was Anthony Gormley. Number 8, who painted The Night Watch? It was Rembrandt. Number 9, what links a statue at the entrance to Copenhagen Harbour and a Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale about a girl wanting to gain a human soul? It was The Little Mermaid. And number 10, a sculpture of an individual that only features their head and shoulders is called a bust. So that's your first 30 answers then for this art and literature ultimate quiz. How are you doing? Are you proving the point that you are brilliant at art and literature? Let me know in the YouTube live chat that is on throughout all of the ultimate quizzes. So let me know how you are doing with those. So I have got 20 final questions for you. They are broken down into 2 rounds, but they are basically 20 general knowledge questions covering all kinds of other stuff from art and literature. There's a couple of book stuff in there, some autobiographies, some nursery rhymes and all sorts in there. But let's get straight into them. I think that's enough time to tot your scores up. Here we go. So general knowledge part 1 for round 4. Here we go. What is the shorthand name for the style of French arts décoratifs? Question number 2. What is the largest museum in the world found in France? Found in France? I'm thinking I'm on the answer section now. Wake up. Stop coughing and spluttering and wake up. So what is the largest museum in the world found in France? Number 3. Complete the name of the Mozart opera. It's the Magic What? Number 4. Martin Handford is an illustrator that created which famous puzzle book series? Number 5. Who is the only British Prime Minister to receive a Nobel Prize? Theirs was for literature. Number 6. Who created the Mr. Men and Little Miss characters? Number 7. With which dance style would you associate the terms pile, pirouette, and arabesque? Number 8. Which musical was performed in its entirety on roller skates? Number 9. In the Bible, which has more books, the Old Testament or the New? And number 10. Long Walk to Freedom is the autobiography of whom? General knowledge then, part 2. Number 1. Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy are characters in which book series? Number 2. What was Miss Marple's first name? Number 3. When Jack fell down in Jack and Jill, what did he break? Number 4. What kind of pottery translated from Italian means baked earth? Number 5. Which art gallery would you find at Trafalgar Square in London? Number 6. What name is given to the Japanese art form of paper folding? Number 7, Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, is the opening line to which poem? Number 8, who wrote the poems If and Mandalay? Number 9, Eleanor Powell and Fred Astaire were synonymous with which style of dancing? And your final question, number 10, which part of a stage in a theatre is furthest from the audience? There you go. That is all of your questions then for this art and literature ultimate quiz. So I'll give you the answers to those then just after this 7-minute break. So have your time to think. Make sure you've got all your answers written down, because when I come back, it's time to decide. Okay, right. Answer sheets then at the ready. Let's see how you did with the final 19 answers, because I've already given you one by mistake, I think. Okay, then answer sheets at the ready. Let's see how you did with them with the final 20 questions. Round 4, let's bring it up on screen. There we go. So round 4 was general knowledge part 1. Let's see how you did. Number 1. What is the shorthand name for the style of French art décoratifs? It is Art Deco. Number 2, what is the largest museum in the world found in France? It is the Louvre. Number 3, the Mozart opera is called The Magic Flute. And number 4, Martin Handford is an illustrator that created which famous puzzle book series? It's Where's Wally? There he is. Number 5, who is the only British Prime Minister to receive a Nobel Prize? And theirs was for literature. It is Winston Churchill. Oh, yes. Number 6, who created the Mr. Men and Little Miss characters? It was Roger Hargreaves. Number 7, with which dance style would you associate the terms pile, pirouette, and arabesque? It is ballet. Number 8, which musical was performed in its entirety on roller skates? It's Starlight Express. Number 9, in the Bible, which has more books, the Old or New Testament? It is the Old Testament. And number 10, Long Walk to Freedom is the autobiography of Nelson Mandela. Round 5, general knowledge. Number 2, part 2, Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy are characters in the Chronicles of Narnia. Number 2, what was Miss Marple's first name? It was Jane. Number 3, when Jack fell down in Jack and Jill, he broke his crown, which is quite impressive, falling down a hill and all he broke was his crown. Number 4, what kind of pottery translated from Italian means baked earth? It is terracotta. Number 5, which art gallery would you find at Trafalgar Square in London? It's the National Gallery. Number 6, what name is given to the Japanese art form of paper folding? It is origami. Number 7, Once Upon a Midnight Dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary is the opening line to The Raven. Number 8, who wrote the poems If and Mandalay? It's Rudyard Kipling. Number 9, Eleanor Powell and Fred Astaire are synonymous with tap dancing. And your final question, which part of a stage in a theatre is furthest from the audience? It is upstage. There you go. That is all then of your questions for your art and literature ultimate quiz. How have you done? Let me know. As I said yesterday, head on over to the social post that announced tonight's sort of topic. Share your scores on there. If I put loads of posts up this week, it's just going to clutter everything on socials and you won't be able to find anything. So head back to this morning's post that gave you on Facebook and Instagram that gave you the topic and the link for tonight, and share your scores with me on there. So that is it then for your art and literature ultimate quiz. Who came out on top? As I say, let me know. Another ultimate quiz tomorrow on Wednesday night. The topic will be revealed on social media tomorrow morning. Thank you very much for joining for these ultimate quizzes. Loads more to come as I head towards the 5-year anniversary on the 26th of March. Thanks for playing along, and I will see you all very, very soon. As always from me, take care and stay safe.